think sharing it out. All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we would like to give all praise and glory unto
Yahweh
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Hashem,
Yahweh
Yahweh
Shah,
Shah,
Ba'ashem,
Hashem,
Chakadash.
Chakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners who may have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. All right. And what we want to get into today, all right, with the brother GMS Mississippi Camp, on the brother Yasha Moth, and to my right.
And brother Anah.
All right. And we're going to get into how everything has been, infiltrated, and we have to understand the world that we see, is fully controlled, all right, by the elite bankers, which are Amalek, all right. And that's why when you go into the Bible and you understand the characters, all right, that we see at play real time, things make more sense. Okay, because when you get into Amalek, all right, these are the sect of Esau, Edom, okay, that are in all the high positions of the earth, okay, and what these devils have done, because even when you go back to the birth of the Illuminati, well, the elite bankers, the Rothschilds, okay, what they did, they financed this guy Adam Weishaupt, okay, to go and infiltrate, the education, the government, the big business, the corporations, the medicine, all right, and they started to infiltrate, these sectors, little by little, okay, and eventually what has happened, all right, the top, all right, people of this world has been turned out by the serpent, okay, you go into the age of enlightenment, okay, this age of capitalism, because you look at China and how they run their economy. Well, that's an economy that was established by the elites, what they call capitalism. Okay, you look at the global trade. Well, guess who issues the currency that these nations trade with? The elites. Okay, so from global trade to the educational system to what your child is learning, in the school curriculum today, all these things have been infiltrated by the elites. Even African American studies. Eliasha Wamba go into it. All right, what you have is got friends. I think it's friends Boaz, and I forgot the other small hat, but they came up with this term African American studies. Okay, they set up these jakes, it seemed as if, they're sincere, but no, it was infiltrated. Everything that has been established and set up outside of the truth has been infiltrated by the elites. And we're gonna get that word, in fact, get that precept, then we'll get that definition. Get that precept first.
Okay. This is book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
So the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. And when something is in your hand, it's in your control. Okay? Because, like I always make the point, you drive a car. Well, the car is a whole system, pistons, electronics, gas, combustions, and all these things are happening. But you control where that car goes with what? Your hands. Okay, so all these different systems of the earth, okay, that's being controlled is controlled by the elites, the wicked. Okay, so we're in the system that's controlled by the elites. That's why, no matter how high you go in this system, guess what? You're still under their control. That's why it's a waste of time, all right, to think that you can climb your way out of the control of this system. No, that's why we pray for this whole system to be destroyed. Okay, we pray for the Lord to come judge this man and remove this whole system. But there's no way out of Edomite supremacy as long as this man is in power. Okay, you can say something, bro.
Oh, you got it, bro.
You get that definition, bro.
Okay. It is infiltrate. It says enter or gain access to an organization, place, or thing.
Yep.
So,
It said enter, gain access to an organization, place, or thing, and see what will happen. You know, gradually the devil, began to infiltrate, like I say, all these different, you know, governments, politics and education, medicine, science. Okay, they began to infiltrate these things and bring on, that left hand, enlightenment. Okay, because you will have a government. That doesn't mean everyone in the government, was corrupt, but they will go to certain people. That's why you have certain people in government. They will be what, Masons. So
hmm
you'll get a Freemason here and there. You'll get certain, leaders to be a part of this. Certain businessmen to have this groups, this society that they're a part of. And then now today, it has grown to be the standard. Now you
hmm
got gatekeepers. You can only get so high before you run into one of the gatekeepers. Okay, no matter what industry you in, you can be in the tech industry, you can be in the military, you can be in sports, you can be rapper. Okay,
hmm
whatever business that you in, you can be a fashion designer. Whatever business you in, eventually if you rise so far, you're gonna run into a gatekeeper. Okay, in order to get to certain levels, you gotta go through them gates, man, and be
hmm
tapped in on the left hand side. You can
hmm
say something, bro.
That come, bro. We go into it all the time, especially the brothers that corner by you. And he always said too. If you want to be on Esau stage, or you want all these perks, and you want this certain lifestyle shit,
Mm-hmm.
you gonna have to cross over.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, that crossing over is going through that gatekeeper, going to that left hand side. So yeah, put a little ahead on that one, bro.
Come on, bro. You can finish that definition. Go back into it.
It says surreptitiously
Yep.
or gradually, especially in order to acquire secret
It
information.
says, what's that word? Surreptitiously.
Surreptitiously,
It says surreptitiously.
surreptitiously,
Oh, surreptitiously. It kind of reminds you of the word serpent,
mm-hmm,
But then it says gradually, and that's what the serpent, when he got came to Eve, he infiltrated Eve.
mm-hmm,
And Eve, she infiltrated Adam. She betrayed Adam. Okay, but what did the serpent do? He came to her with this game, with this, he presented a way that was better than their current situation. Okay, the serpent came with this game as if he was enlightening Eve, like he was putting her on, you know, and that's how the devil does. Like I say, these secret societies, these, different Freemasons, and what do? They go to these governments, and they go to these big corporations, okay, and they plant their seed within a few of the heads, okay, because all they need is people in these head positions. Because once they got the people in the head, everything else follows, man. Okay, because here it
mm-hmm,
is now. You got cities that built on Freemason architecture, and they don't have to turn every individual out. They just need to turn out the heads, and the heads, that's what control the direction of society.
mm-hmm.
Okay, they don't have to turn out every single actor. Okay, in Hollywood, but the directors know. The directors, the directors know what's going on. Certain producers, certain major actors. Okay, so they don't have to uh, 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 go to each individual, but they control the industries. Okay, what's that?
I'm looking for a precept for you.
What it go into?
I think it's Ciroc 10 and 2.
Oh yeah,
Going
yeah,
into all they gotta do is turn out the heads.
yep. The top, yep, yeah. You can read that, and then we get that Michael 2-1. Yeah, so rock 10-2. You got it.
Yeah, take a few minutes, pop up. I'm gonna go here.
Yeah, because I say these devils, they've been given, like I
Gotcha.
say, the power of the earth is in their hand.
Mm-hmm. Come.
Okay, so with that, they've been able to get a grasp and infiltrate everything. That's why everything is corrupted, man. Go ahead.
Okay, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 2. It says that the judge of the people is himself.
Yep.
So are his officers. What manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
Yeah, so that's on every level,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're talking about, government officials, or you're talking about the heads of certain corporations, okay, the heads of certain groups, they infiltrated the Black Panthers, okay,
Mm-hmm.
they infiltrated, uh, every movement, that our people will start, that will eventually get infiltrated. Because why? The leaders will be turned out. Your Martin Luther Kings, they those are the men that they will turn out, okay, and they was able to infiltrate, all these different movements and what push their doctrine,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and make it feel as if it was for, the people. All right. That's why if you take that mindset of Martin Luther King, okay, just walking around the earth getting your ass beat, marching, okay, that's perfect. That's what they want you. They want you niggas marching and begging them for freedom, begging to be equal to them. That's what they want your victory to be, is you
Mm-hmm.
begging them to be equal to them. That was the whole gist of it. You go to the civil rights, man. You
Mm-hmm.
had sincere, Jake that was a part of it. But if the top infiltrated the direction of the movement, okay, the direction of the movement is going to go where the elites wanted to go.
Okay.
Okay, you got it, bro.
And that makes sense because now you don't have people doing that. Now you got everybody chasing this middle so-called white class lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Like people want the car and the big houses and everything. So back then, you had people arguing for freedom. Now you working your ass to the gristle just to try to be equal to this man.
Mm-hmm.
So you had another one, bro.
Yeah, get that Michael 2-1, and then we'll get that what the brother got after that too. Isaiah 28:18.
Okay. Michael.
Yeah, Micah 2-1.
It's the book of Micah, chapter 2, starting at verse 1. It says, Woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Yeah, and this is the elites, because they work iniquity, and devise, mischief on their beds, because right now they're in their kingdom, they're in their comfort. Okay, so they have what the time, to do these things. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Con. It says, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
When the
Like,
morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. Because why? They've infiltrated everything. If they want to push, the alphabet agenda within Hollywood, well, they control Hollywood. If they want to push the alphabet agenda in the NBA, they control the NBA. If they want to push the alphabet agenda, okay, in the school, they control the schools. Why do you think that a drag queen can come read to your child?
mm-hmm.
Who ordained it? It come from the top, okay? They're able to do these things and push these wickedness when they want to put a new chemical in the food. Guess what? They can do it. Okay, it's in the power of their hand because they infiltrated. Okay, all these different industries, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the juice lets you know that you don't have. There's no barrier between you and what the elites want to do. Okay, all these so-called, government, these bureaucratic, government entities are supposed to regulate and, you know, to monitor. Because even with like the OSHA, okay, even with wearing the mask, like that was against, we won't talk too much about it, but it was certain things that, wait a minute, this goes against your own government rules, but it's something above the government that we see that really runs everything, man. And
Mm-hmm.
these elites, man. They've
Mm-hmm.
infiltrated everything. Nothing is innocent or nothing is pure anymore. Everything has been infiltrated, man. And you don't have to directly take a deal with the devil to be infiltrated. If you operate off the doctrine that the devil pushes, you've been infiltrated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whether it's your mother, your uncle, your woman, if they operate off the doctrine of this society, they've been infiltrated. Okay, most of the people on the planet Earth, their minds have been infiltrated by the serpent, man. gradually broken down, all right, to be Satanists, man. You
Okay.
know, you got it, bro.
Uh, I think you want me to read down.
Yeah, keep reading.
Verse 2. It says, "In that they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his inheritance."
Yeah, so when you see, all these conflicts, what's happening in the earth, these devils are behind it, man. You got this documentary called All Wars Are Bank of Wars. Okay? So even these conflicts that we see, man, the bankers have an agenda behind these conflicts that we see. Okay? Nothing is just happening just cause. They have their hands in everything, man. Okay? And it's always about them gaining more control because they got the money. Now it's about more control. Okay? You got it, bro.
Verse 3.
Now you can
Get that Isaiah.
oh yeah, read three, because three is a judgment. You just read the judgment for these devils.
Verse 3. It says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil
Yeah,
which."
this family, which are the Edomites, showing you that it's a nationality that the Lord is against,
Mhm.
not just one man. He doesn't just hate Esau; he hates the nation of Esau, the descendants of Esau. Okay, so against this family that has infiltrated everything in wickedness. Go ahead,
Mm,
back in three.
yeah, I was saying what that family said. It says, "Do I devise an evil for which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye do haughty, for this time is evil."
Yeah, neither shall you go away haughty, because these devils are used. Haughty goes to proud, because they're used to, pulling off their wickedness, but then not being judged. And the Lord has had them to do that, for a while. So that's why these devils, judgment don't exist to these devils anymore. Okay, they think that they, all right, are beyond judgment, but the Lord's finna reel their ass back in with judgment, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they've been able to infiltrate and destroy and manipulate and connive and move here and do that, and he's like, So now the Lord's finna hit the brakes on this nigga, man, with judgment. Okay, so there was an evil time prepared for this family, man. This wicked family that has infiltrated the earth in pure wickedness, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got it, bro.
Cause that word haughty goes into being proud.
Yep.
So this nigga, you ain't finna be, you ain't finna be walking around with your chest all puffed out.
Mm-hmm.
We even now we starting to see, the transition. You got
Mm-hmm.
Edomites crying out now. So it's gonna be a whole lot more of that.
And because you go haughty, you look at Columbus Day. You look at the wickedness that Columbus did. That's him being haughty. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the Ark of Titus. They still have their monument in several places. One in Las Vegas. The Ark of Titus. Them take it's them. Celebrate. Glorifying. The Romans taking down. Jake. During 70 A.D. Okay, Thanksgiving. What they did to the natives, man. So these devils, okay, they're used to, doing wickedness and not only getting away with it, but boasting in it. Okay, you look at the people that's on the money, straight wicked. All right, demons, man, that's on the money. Okay, so that's that man being haughty. But see, the Lord is finna put a stop to this haughtiness of this devil, man, because he's infiltrated everything, man. Look, you watch your children watch cartoon, man. That's been infiltrated.
Mm-hmm.
It's all even you go back, things that we wasn't catching when we wasn't on. You like, damn, that was in there, you
Got it.
know. So this devil has infiltrated everything. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. We read verse 4.
No, you go to Isaiah
What was Isaiah
28
28
and
and 18?
18. Oh, you can read out the comment board. Yeah.
I said, "This the brother, do of thy youth, not the water for the precept." Isaiah 28 and 18.
Yep.
It says, "And your covenant with death shall be disannulled."
Disannul. Okay. Which our people, have made covenants with death. The men that this devil has set up, the men and women. Okay. Because in their mind, that they made a deal with the people that's on top, so they good.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake mind, well, we made a deal with the devil. He's on top. We good. Okay. but it's gonna show the Lord's gonna disannul that covenant. The Lord gonna break that covenant up. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because when there's a new regime, well, guess what? Those old decrees don't stand anymore. When a new king comes into power, or he takes over another kingdom, well, the decrees that that old king had, guess what? They don't stand anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so whatever agreement you got with Esau, where the Lord gonna disannul it in the time of judgment.
Come.
Okay, go ahead.
It says that your agreement with hell shall not stand.
Yep, go ahead.
When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it.
Yeah, so you're not gonna, our people, that play a major part in this devil infiltrating the minds of the masses. You're not gonna skip away from this unscathed. You know, when the Lord open up and judge, all right, you're gonna be caught in the midst of it because you, all right, have made conspiracy. You have made conspiracy with this devil. You have conspired. Okay, go ahead.
That's it. Whatever.
Um, okay, there's another he got another precept on there.
Come. This is also the brother do of thy youth. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3 and 4.
Yep,
It said, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee,
yep.
thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock.
Yep, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, and the pride of his heart, which is his mind, has
Mm-hmm.
deceived him like he's above judgment. So this devil won't he's not geared to stop. He's only geared to keep going. He's only geared to make the earth worse, to make it more vile, to make it more wicked. All right. Now he wants to infiltrate your body, with the sea hip. Okay, that's next up on his agenda to infiltrate what that devil, Yuval Noah Harari, say we can hack humans now. Okay, he
Thank you.
says we can hack humans. Okay, no more free thought, no more having a thought that we don't know about. Okay, he said, look, we can tell what you watching, but we don't know exactly how you really feel about what you watching.
Damn.
Okay, he said they pretty much say we want to know how you feel. When I speak, I want to know how you feel.
What was it?
Okay, so this devil, his next step is to infiltrate your spirit. you know.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why the Lord, is going to stop this man, man. You had something.
Con, then we're going into some more on it. But I'll make a point of what you're saying. What was that movie? Enemy of State
Yeah,
with
yep,
Will Smith.
yep.
And that movie went into they was actually showing you when they was gonna start doing the, recording audio and the
Mm,
video footage and everything. But I did a video on it on a while back. He made a comment. He said, they can't afford to give you privacy. The only privacy you got for now is in your head.
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I remember that part.
Mm-hmm.
Now they want to go there. Neuralink, okay, and which people are so goddamn stupid. You know, they they glorify their own demise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um.
But people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. You can finish that, and then we'll end it in Job 5 and
Con,
uh,
it's
12. You got it, bro.
con. It said whose inhabitants are high that saith in his heart, who
Yeah,
shall
habitation is high.
habitation, come
Yeah.
the water, whose habitation is high,
Yep.
that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Yeah. Who shall bring me down to the ground? And this is devil mindset is that he's gotten so far up in power, and influence that he can't be stopped.
Mm-hmm.
He's infiltrated everything. Like he knows he's infiltrated everything. That's why I say, he transgressed by wine. He's a proud man because he know he has everyone, all right, moving off his influence. He has the mass. He has the globe, the global, okay, influence to everyone is moving based off of him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this man is proud because he has a whole world drunk off his wine, drunk off his philosophy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this man is a proud man. All right. So this devil had reached a point to where he thinks that he thinks that he's in the category with the Most High. You know, the Lord let this man tap into manipulating the weather. Even that's infiltrated the weather. you know, goddamn
Uh,
portals. Letting demons in. Like this devil has been given access to a lot, but the Lord gave him that just so he can be puffed up. All right. just as Pharaoh was. Why? So he can showcase power, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why we're going to end it with that Job 5 and
That's a little bit more on it.
there's more on there.
It's verse 4. It's the last one. It says, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh."
Yeah, thence will I bring you down, said the Lord, Yahweh by Shema Shai. So we're finna see, the Lord do a mighty work in the earth, man, on this nation of people, this family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this devil, he's finna destroy himself in this war. All right, and Yahweh Shai is gonna come wipe the floor. What's the remainder of World War III? Yahweh Shai is gonna wipe the floor with, man. You know,
What was that precept you had?
Job 5 and 12.
This is Job chapter 5 and verse 12. It says he disobeyed he disappointed the devices of the crafty,
Yep.
so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise.
Yeah. So the Lord, we finna see this. The Lord disappointed the devil, and it's gonna be the earth gonna shake. That's
Mm-hmm.
how the Lord gonna disappoint the devil, man. The missiles hitting the earth. Okay. Yahweh Shai returning. The Lord is finna disappoint this man and everything that he's built up, man, because it's been a long time coming. Because you go into what 1776 when the Illuminati was, established and sent forth to, infiltrate, all these different sectors of society. Okay, which that's almost 250 years, man. Next year be 250 years, man. So everything that the devil has been doing, these elites have been doing and building up towards their new world order, okay, is going to fail in the moment, okay. And what Howard Shah said he seen, a matter of fact, we end on that. What Howard Shah said, Luke 10 and 18. Luke 10 and 18.
Con. This is Luke chapter 10 and verse 18. It says, "And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning falling from heaven."
So he said, Yahweh Shah said he beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Okay. So the adversary Esau Edom, Yahweh Shah said he beheld him fall as lightning, because who's going to bring him down swiftly? Yahweh Shah.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately he beheld himself. Yahweh Shah, he knew, okay, what he would do, all right, when he returned. And it was going to be quick work with the devil, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that has infiltrated everything, man. Okay. So that's why it's that 1,000 year period of that harsh, rigorous, captivity that's gonna be erasing the stain and the imprint of wickedness that Esau has established in the earth, man, through him
Con.
infiltrating everything, man. You know. So
Con.
Lord will you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. Gonna give all praise and glory unto Yahweh
Yahweh
by
Bahashem,
Hashem, Yahweh
Yahweh
Shah
Shah
by Hashem
Bahashem
Hakadash,
Halakadash.
and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards young brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the whole elect. Shalom.
Shalom.